Oh, all right, fine. Not live streaming. Okay, good. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look. And so today is the extraordinary beginning of a new era. My name is Jared, and just like yesterday, again into the fantastic world of Jamaican Patois, this time with more practice. And so I looked over the first stream, and one thing I definitely noticed was the fact that sometimes the letters were too small. And so while I really like the Wikipedia interface, believe me, I really, really do. I also thought that would be a wiser decision to actually post everything in this article here in larger letters, and so that therefore you can actually read it on the screen. For those of you who are probably watching this after the fact, I hope that this can also really enable you to actually look along with the text as I'm reading, rather than having to possibly risk your eyesight in any capacity. Okay, so today we are going to learn about Istri Ajudizam in Jamaica. Okay, for those of you who are aware, Black History Month, Jamaican Patois, I live in a very Caribbean neighborhood in Brooklyn, so as a result, this really ties in together the various themes and also really understanding my neighborhood significantly better. As you can probably tell, I'm not a complete beginner with Jamaican Patois. I've been working it on and off since October, but obviously it's been very interestingly quite difficult for none of the reasons that you expect. And for those of you who may have tried to learn Patois at some point in the past, you're probably fully aware of exactly what I'm talking about. Because sometimes really learning a language with significant distance to a language you already know can be significantly easier than learning one that's actually significantly closer. And sometimes, I think that this was tipped to me by a user on the Jamaican subreddit, is that often what many Jamaicans do is that they actually intersperse Patois between standard English as well, and like it's an on-again, off-again variety of things. I also seen this with we call this code switching, but I think the dynamics of this are significantly different in, for example, the Caribbean islands rather than a place like the Philippines or Palau, where it's also significantly common, not also to mention Northern Europe and places like Sweden or the Netherlands. Okay, Ishchi Judizam in Jamaica. Okay, so history. History, not the ist becomes a ch in this regard. Again, thanks to my knowledge of Belize Creole, something I actually almost don't speak at all. I tried to study at one point because my father has actually really been dreaming of going to Belize, and so as a result, just in case, I wanted to get a little bit prepared. Okay, funny story about exactly what happened when I Googled Belizean music into YouTube. You can do that for yourself and actually see what happens. Okay, history Judaism in Jamaica. So history of becomes of, so the F falls off. History Judaism. Note that Judaism, I can imagine that different varieties of English may pronounce this word differently, but in Patois it's 3 words. And then ina, what we did from yesterday, Jamaica. Okay, this consonant of the EI is actually one of the distinct features of Jamaican Patois, because, for example, in Trinidadian English Creole, they'll pronounce it like A, like that. So Jamaica, like that, as opposed to Jamaica. And so probably some of you have heard the difference. Okay. When time de punish and occupy Jamaica. And so when time is at the time when. De punish, again, the S can sometimes fall out. In quickly spoken speech, that is to say, when it goes in a consonant blend. And so Spanish becomes punish. So when time de punish and occupy Jamaica. And so at the time that the Spanish were occupying Jamaica, so in, I think that might be some form of dem, which we learned from the last. So de-Spanish them would mean the Spanish people. This might be a plural marker. Again, corrections, please provide them if you know about this. Jewish people, you probably didn't need too much Patois to understand that, from Spain and Portugal. Yes, it was very interesting. I teach English as a second language, and one thing that's really noteworthy is the fact that Portugal is the one proper name that non-native English speakers screw up the most, like Portugal or Portugal. They'll do it like as opposed to Portugal. Like this. Sometimes I've really had to tutor people for like 4 minutes. Obviously, if they come from the Portuguese-speaking world, then it's, as you could probably guess, significantly less of an issue by virtue of the fact that they probably know. Because the things that are the most important to you in your language learning sphere are the ones that you're going to learn first. Okay, so Jewish people from Spain and Portugal. or Jewish people from Spain and Portugal, whereon that, so where, we learned that times the relative pronoun, like that, who, or which. So Jewish people from Spain and Portugal, whereon, that ran, fran, and so the on in this case also served to be like a progressive, so running or was running. And so a lot of languages don't really have progressive tenses, and so sometimes, you know, for example, you would probably need to use, instead of we are running, we run in that case. And sometimes a lot of English speakers trying their second language on for the first time have trouble with that, because a lot of languages don't have a genuine progressive. Okay, we're on from the Inquisition. We're running from the Inquisition. Come Seclop the island. So, Seclop? So I don't really know what that is. The island. And so come, I don't know what that is, the island. Chances are there were some words that I didn't recognize during the stream yesterday that I actually managed to recognize when we were watching it, so maybe that might actually be one of them. Over the Wallip, so over the Wallip, I don't actually really know what that is. Them since the time there, more Jew, that's more Jews, come from Germany, and Central Europe, Okay, I'm fairly confused. So over the Wallip, them. Okay, yeah, I want to say years, since that time. Okay, so over the Wallip, I don't know what that is. In the years since that time, more Jew come from Germany and Central Europe. So, also another thing is, as a Finnish teacher, another thing I also managed to do is the double vowels are important. So Europe, and so in Patois, if you really manage to say things like this, it actually really gives it a more raw-born feel, which is very important. Okay, first time den fam sopret congregation. Okay, so for the first time, the family sopret, I would mean. I don't know what sopret means. Chances are I should really know this, but I don't. Okay, congregation. The two most popular one, them, Wina, the Sephardim, and the Ashkenazim. And so the two most popular ones, one, them, is like the one, so we say this in English. Okay, say the two most popular ones, Wina, I don't know what that is. The Sephardim. So the Sephardim are Jews. So Iberia, so what is now Spain and Portugal, had 1/3 of the world's Jews at one point. But of course, after the Inquisition that we see up here, Ferdinand and Isabella really decided to expel Jews and Muslims from their realm. And so as a result, the exiles and their descendants that took off mostly to the Ottoman Empire and to the Netherlands and in many other areas of the world are called the Sephardim. And very interesting, in Portugal, I believe, managed to forcibly convert many of their Jews en masse. And said Ashkenazim are pretty much the Jews that, how do I put it, mostly from the areas between Germany and Russia. So Germany, Poland, and Russia, that area, also Austria-Hungary, Romania, that entire area between. So Central Eastern Europe, or including Eastern Europe as well. Okay, I apologize if you come from one of the countries that I forgot the name. Okay. Time crunch. I have to teach in about a half hour. Okay, in 1881, them join up, FIFAM, the United Congregation of Israelite people. Okay, they joined up form the United Congregation of Israelite people. Okay, it's very interesting because I think especially in older times there were dozens upon dozens of ways to actually refer to Jewish people, like Hebrew Actors Union or Mosaic faith communities and things of this nature. Obviously some of this really had to do with enlightenment and assimilation in many regards. Fun times. Okay, the first Jewish synagogue in Jamaica built Port Royal. Okay, so let's see, Royal. Okay, the first Jewish synagogue in Jamaica built Port Royal. So the first Jewish synagogue in Jamaica was built. Again, one very distinctive aspect of the Caribbean English Creoles is the lack of a passive form. So built, and so what you're actually saying. So bil is actually was built, and so Port Royal was built in Port Royal 16 years before the I don't know, Eleva earthquake. So rock the island. So the the blank earthquake rocks the island. Okay, the synagogue in a one section of the town where sink down in the sea. And so the synagogue was in there in one section, mean it was, or of in this case. So it's like a simplified preposition marker. So section of the town where that sinks down. Also, Jamaican Patois, my knowledge, actually really uses preposition, verb plus preposition a lot more often than American English does. Okay, and so we sink down, that sinks down into the sea. By that time there, synagogue built all over Jamaica. The synagogue were built all over Jamaica. In Spanish Town, Montego Bay, Falmouth, and some other part. Okay, some other parts. Remember, I think I have to emphasize this double vowel. So in Spanish Town, Montego Bay, Falmouth. I don't know. So I presume it's going to be pronounced. I think in Jamaican Standard it'll be pronounced Falmouth as well. Again, if you're Jamaican or anywhere in the Caribbean, please let me know any variety of corrections that I need to know. And some other part, and some other parts. Two major Jewish cemeteries there are Ozenbieh and Falmouth. So two major Jewish cemeteries there are at Ozenbieh. We're going to get the standard English version that you may know of, Hunts Bay, and Falmouth. Falmouth, Falmouth. Falmouth. Okay. The two major Jewish cemeteries there are Ozenbieh and Falmouth. Okay, so Ozenbieh Cemetery. So symmetry is not symmetry. That would be, even though I think it would actually be homonyms in Patois. I might be wrong. It's cemetery. And, okay, let's see how much left I have to do. Okay, long stuff. Wow. Okay, Ozenbieh, Hunts Bay, one the oldest Jewish cemetery in the Western world, with tombstone where date back as 1672, and for that reason alone deserve to treat as historical significant site. Okay. Also, yeah, again, somewhat deprogramming my American English. Like, I've noticed that sometimes when I tutor, for example, Polish or Chinese speakers, I'll notice that they'll pronounce significant, like something like that. Now I need to actually learn to pronounce it like that in Patois instead of significant. That short I sound. Nightmares already. Okay. Ozenbieh, Hunts Bay, is one of the oldest Jewish cemeteries in the Western world. Remember, no D. In the Western world, with tombstone, again, tombstone, not tombstone. Remember, the ST is not something that Jamaican Patois likes. In the Western world, with tombstones, wadiyat. I believe this is also a form of like way. It's very interesting because I think with a lot of collective editing, one thing that's really happening is that there's a bit of a mishmash of varieties of Patois really coming together. So with tombstones, that date back 1672. And for that reason, and for that there reason, alone, disab fi treat. I don't know what disab means. For treat as historical significant site, as a historically significant site. A lot of members of the Jamaican Jewish community, of the Jamaican Jewish community, can trace then family. Yeah, this is another family, not family, but family. That B is important. Yeah, so no member of the Jamaican Jewish community can trace their family, line to them where buried in the cemetery. So to the line that, okay, so what's saying here, okay, I'm going to have to do a word-by-word thing. So the family line also of those where were buried in the cemetery. Okay. Chances you probably get the idea, but I might need some help considering the whole word-by-word thing. Okay, 1,000 a Jamaican bear the name Da Costa, De Leon, Gabay, Enriquez, Levy, and Nunez. So thousands of Jamaicans bear the names and these are various Sephardic names as well. Note that they actually do combine many Spanish as well as Hebrew influences. So like Gabbai and Levi. A Gabbai is like a synagogue attendant. Oh yeah, I was one in high school. And Levi, meaning Levite, was one of the 10 tribes of Israel. Moses came from that tribe as well. Okay, for example, Uab ansista beri ina disya hall abundant symmetry, even duo den family might no practice Judaism again. Okay, for example, okay, now I'm fairy, and Uab ansista. I don't know what this is. Uab ansista. Bury in that in that hold abandoned cemetery, even though their family might not practice Judaism again. So again, I think we also saw this in the Bahamianese series as well. Again, can also mean like anymore. And so, for example, and I'm still Uab ansista. Let me look at the chat. Anything interesting here? Okay, okay, that's all right. All right. Okay. And it is your whole abundant symmetry, even though then family might no practice Judaism again. Holy attempts, so holy again, early, remember what I said, H can sometimes be put on words that in standard English would ordinarily begin with vowels. Okay, so early attempts, vitat, significant restoration. So for tat, I don't know, for something, significant restoration program, make in 1937. And so were made, again, make, in a 1937, fin fi ankiba an anotissymmetry. Okay, I so confused. Ankiba, so much I don't know. But hey, that's why I'm doing this. The only thing is that I know nothing. Okay, decide list as one of the Jamaican national heritage chose. Side but then no do nothing for restore secure are mentieni more than bushy every no and then. I'm so confused by this. Okay, so the site is listed as one of the Jamaican National Heritage Trust, I believe, site, but then, okay, I don't know, no do nothing for restore, and so about which no do nothing is done for restoration, or nothing is done to restore, secure, are maintieni, or maintain, more than, Bushi Ibri no and then. I'm so confused as to exactly what the last 5 words mean. Okay. Lately, son uabasi scala and researcher as well son local people that work pan legal restoration. Okay, so lately, uabasis and scala, I don't know. Oh, scholar. Okay, so lately, some Wabasis, on basis, like independent, maybe. Scholars, and researcher. Note again that none of these are actually pluralized, so this is another feature of Patois as well. Okay, as well, so local people, as well as some local people. Again, the Jamaican Patois is efficient, very much unlike American English. To some degree, it actually makes sense a lot more. I think Jamaican Patois deserves to be the international language and not... Well, today is also International Mother Tongue Day, so maybe I should actually learn to be nice to my own dear mother tongue of American English for once in my life. Okay, that work, pan legal restoration, that works upon a little restoration. So legal this is a common, like we said, family, like a B there. Legal is another thing, so little becomes legal. And there are some patterns, and they exist also not in Jamaica, but also throughout the variety of, I would say, English-speaking or English Creole-speaking Caribbean islands as well. And so that's something for me to do some more research on. Okay, the evidence are not by the research the evidence are not by the research point to the fact say the Jewish colony are Port Royal when significant and prosperous. Okay, so prosperous is not 2 syllables, and so that's good to know. So the evidence on not, I don't know what that is. By the research, point to the fact, point to the fact, remember fact, not fact, say that the Jewish colony of Port Royal, the Jewish colony of Port Royal, when significant and prosperous, was significant and prosperous, or when it was significant and prosperous, could be possibly either. Okay, Ozenbiek Kras, so Hunts Bay, across the channel, is across the channel from Port Royal, in a the idle place for the Judem. In the idle, I don't know what that is, idle, for the Jews, buried then dead, was probably a calm place, so like idle place where Jews buried the dead. The last record of burial date 1819. So the last record of burial dates, again, the most important thing that you should keep in mind from this lesson, and I'm keeping in mind, no passive, so not dated, no, date. So the last record of burial date 1819. Okay, just one more paragraph and then I can go back to bed. Oh, I'm not going back to bed. Okay, the gravtonen, so the gravestones, were discovered make out a costly material import from England. So the gravestones that were discovered were make out, that would be made of, so make out does not mean what it means in English in this case. Okay, were made of costly material imported from England. Then find evidence ut kiaskit and marka weraten we long time. Okay, so the fine evidence of old casket, and I'm just making up words, casket and marka, that would probably mean a grave marker, weraten we long time, that were, I believe, probably decomposed over a course of a long time. Presumption fidi pura Judem. Okay, I have no idea what's happening. Presumption would be helpful if I would know what that means in that context. Presumption for the pure Jews, I don't really know. The costly marble from Nof a the grave, so the expensive marble from a lot of the graves take away on one theory. It gives away to one theory. That then thief them, that thieves sell them to cabinet maker for use make furniture, and sell them to cabinet makers in order to use to make furniture. We've really seen this in a lot of places as well. We've actually seen it, well, not only in the history of the Holocaust, when Nazis managed to desecrate the Jewish cemeteries, and then sometimes they, and then later on sometimes communists or even ordinary local people would actually use sometimes the pieces of Jewish tombstones in order to pave roads or what have you. And also, possibly another example, and some people may be genuinely jarred by this even more, pieces of ancient Greek monuments were also used later on down the line, as one of my tour guides in Greece actually referred to as a recycling. And so, yes, not even like places like the Parthenon got off safe from this regard. Okay. Inscription pandi gravtonen. And so inscriptions on the gravestones, right, are written, again, no passive, in Hebrew, Portuguese, and Spanish, as well English, as well as English. So I remember the Portuguese synagogue in the Netherlands also did have, primarily when walking around. So the Portuguese synagogue in the Netherlands also shares the same Sephardic synagogue, in Amsterdam specifically, shares the same Sephardic tradition that is found in Jamaica and that is spoken about here. And so that's something that's very important to know. And so one result is that the same way that Spanish and Portuguese were also really used in a lot of these tombstones here, there are also Portuguese inscriptions found throughout places in the Netherlands as a result. Although I've heard that largely by this point, most of the Jews in the Netherlands actually use Dutch everyday life, although there are a handful of elderly Portuguese speakers as well. And yes, the Netherlands was, as many of you know, impacted by the Holocaust as well. Okay, so this was a very, very, how do I put it? I think just one final thing, and then I'll go ahead and note. Fun fact about Jamaican Jewry is the fact that there were a lot of Jewish members of the Jamaican Parliament in the 19th century. There was actually a case where the Parliament had to close on Yom Kippur because pretty much no one would show up otherwise. I don't know what variety of what's the word? I don't know what type of article I'll do next. I'll probably go on to probably something else about Jamaica, found in the Wikipedia as well. If you have any articles that you think I definitely should go read, please go ahead and let me know. That would be of significant importance to me. I think that's pretty much it, and I think I should start to prepare for my next class, and that's going to be very, very fun. There will be a next episode, but until then, this is Jared letting you know that your dreams can come true. Who knows? Maybe today is the day where you will get everything. You don't know if you won't. Have a good one, and see you next time.